How do parents and relatives influence what we believe about politics?
I mean, a way to influence you guys, and I hope that you make your own choice of what you want to do. But I mean, we're going to stand for what we believe. We're going to be discussing, you know, our um, political party, our choice, and we're going to discuss the pros and cons of those. But it honestly is up to you to decide what you want to do. I mean, whether you want to follow our beliefs, or whether you want to come up with your own beliefs.
Okay. And why do some families have different political opinions, like even within the same household?
Because we're all different, no matter how much I can, tell you my beliefs and the, tell you what, the my political party of choice, why do I want to, why am I voting for this particular individual? That is because I believe in those core values. And if you want to believe in those core values too, then you decide if you want to vote the same party or not. But it's really up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, so
okay.
You have to come up with your own opinion and your own, just pick what you believe.
All right. And how can family experiences change the way someone views the government?
Like how what?
How can family experiences change the way someone views the government?
I mean, it depends what you do in life. Depends on your. For example, it depends on your job. If you own a business, for example, you want to make sure that you're paying low taxes and you're not getting bombarded with all these different fees, right? But at the same time, I could be working for the government and I'm getting all of their, perks, and I'm, getting all the different things that the government provides to their employees, like pension plans and things like that. So it really depends, of what you're doing at that time.
How do schools help shape the way we think about politics and government?
Well, I believe that the school's job is to teach you guys about all the different parties out there and all the different types of government. I believe that the school needs to use facts and not their own personal opinion, just to help you guys, just to guide you in the right direction, in terms of, what kind of government, you want your country to have. Everybody has their own opinions about things, but I believe it's a school responsibility to teach you facts, in all the different types of governments to help you come up with your own.
So should teachers talk about politics in class, or should they stay neutral?
Something, they can talk about politics, but almost make it to the point where they can discuss all the different parties that are out there and not just perhaps give you guys their own personal opinion about certain things, because that could also influence you, because it's almost like you're probably going to feel obligated to believe what the teacher is saying, versus if she's teaching you facts about all the different parties out there, it's going to help you, come up with your own conclusion. Or maybe she can make or he can make a debate, with all the different, political parties out there, and, you guys can discuss the pros and cons of each party.
Yeah. We've done that in class and it's worked.
Okay.
So how do classmates and school lessons influence our political opinions?
I mean, everybody have their own opinions about politics, about not not religion per se, because I mean, you are true to your religion and to your faith, but in terms of politics, similar to, you have your own opinions about it. Kids, look at the social media a lot, and social media a lot of times tends to 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 be very opinionated about a certain party.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're, let's say, that type of, social media, whatever you're watching, I mean, maybe they're Republicans, and maybe they're just, talking negative about the Democrats or about the Independent Party. It's going to make you want to be a Republican in a way, because that's all they're saying. They're just, basically,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
that makes
there's
sense.
just different. Social media bring things to the table differently, and you just want to be careful, because you don't want to be biased by that. You want to make
Okay.
sure that those are facts.
How do friends affect the way we think about political issues?
Um, well, I mean, you can have discussions about politics with your friends, and they may have the same beliefs as you, or perhaps they may have different beliefs than you. Um, you don't have to agree with them, but you can listen, okay? Because a lot of times you have to be careful, because some people are very strong about their beliefs and they don't want to listen to your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to become an issue, because that's what's going to happen, is it's going to lead to an argument between you and your friend. So it's almost like, pick your friends in a way, and a good friend will respect your decision, and then you will respect their decision too, especially if they are different. But
So,
I
like,
don't know if that answers, like,
why might we feel pressure to agree with our friends on like political topics?
you shouldn't feel pressure to believe what your friend is telling you, like, unless you are a strong believer and you strongly agree with their opinion. But or maybe, I mean, a way to feel pressure is that you don't want to argue with that person, so you're kind of like saying, oh yeah, sure, yeah, I agree with you, okay, just because you don't want to escalate to the next level, just because that individual has very strong beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to avoid an argument. I don't know if that answers the question or not, but
So how can like talking to people with different opinions change our views?
how can talking to other, I don't know, maybe they'll bring good facts to the table, but at the same time, it will help you in terms of, maybe it'll encourage you to do a little bit more research, of what they're saying to you, just to see if those are true facts, or if that's just their opinion. Maybe they're being biased by someone else. But maybe a way that they can influence you is by encouraging you to maybe do a little bit more research on your own to see if what they're saying is true or not.
How do news and social media shape what people believe about politics?
I feel like news shows have a big influence, especially on younger people who don't have as much experience with what the news is talking about and the history of the country. They're often biased, and you have to be aware of what the different news sources are. Make sure you watch more than one news source, and use your own views to shape what you really believe, not necessarily believe what they're telling you in the news.
So how can you tell if the news source is fair or biased?
That's a tough one, because they'll act like everything they're saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you just have to watch multiple channels, listen to multiple sources, do your own research, kind of fact check on your own, and as well as talk to people around you to see what they believe, and it'll help you understand where do you think they're not telling you the truth, or they have a lot of bias, and where are they being more truthful.
And how do TV shows, movies, and music influence our opinions on political issues?
So I think movies and TV shows are doing this more and more, where they are building their own views of politics into the TV show, or their views on how society should be into the TV show. And I think because kids watch so much TVs and shows through their childhood, they're always on phones, computers, watching TV. It has a big influence on what they understand and believe, because they probably get more time, a lot of kids, with TV than they do with actual parents and people who are explaining this stuff.
How do religious beliefs shape political views?
So my feeling is religion gives you your kind of moral beliefs, and what you've learned through church kind of shapes who you are. So when you're looking at politics and parties and what they're pushing as their political views, you'll lean back on what you've learned through your church and kind of what you've grown up believing in, and it'll, has a big effect on what they're saying, and does it align with your personal beliefs.
You think churches and religious leaders should talk about politics?
I think it's important. I think it's important that they are not as biased, but explain why some religious or why some political views may be aligned with the church, and why others that they're saying may not align with our specific church.
And how can someone follow their religion while also having their own political opinions?
Yes, I think because we have views or opinions that we've built with the church and our own families, we see that they may align with both parties. In some cases, there may be views that the church has that align with one party, and a different view of the church that aligns with another party. So I think always keeping that in mind when you're looking at it, and having, just a kind of middle view of, what the politicians are saying, the parties are saying, and what you're hearing at church is important in your life.